Alright, so this is a review for the 80s horror movie Deadly Friend, which is directed by Wes Craven, and is sort of his take on a Frankenstein type story, or a modern day Frankenstein story in a sense. A lot of people haven't really talked about it like that, but I think he kind of covered this unintentionally, because like he's done two other monsters like that. He did Cursed, which is sort of a nod to a little more of the Werewolf in London movie than the actual Wolfman, and he did Dracula 2000, although he produced that one instead of directed it. So this is sort of his take on the Frankenstein story. This is one of those movies. It's a horror movie, but it's a fairly straightforward movie. It doesn't try to be anything more than what it is, and basically what you see is what you get type of deal. And simple movies like that always work fine for me, if they let you know that straight up. The plot is also fairly straightforward. We have this college kid named Paul and his mother. They move to a new city. He befriends another college kid named Tom and a girl that lives next door to him named Samantha, who he's taking a little bit of a liking to. And one Halloween night, they decide to go and play a prank on this recluse woman. Now, the one thing I forgot to mention is that Paul is a little bit of a technical genius, and he's constructed this remote-controlled robot named BB. And they decide to have a little fun on the old recluse woman. I don't remember what her name was, but she was Mom Bertelli in The Goonies. And basically, like, the woman chain lock doors, security system, and she keeps a combo lock on the front of her gate into her yard. And basically what they plan on doing is have the robot break the combo and then run up to the house and play Ding Dong Ditch and scare the shit out of this woman. Well, not a good idea. This woman comes packing with heat. She takes a shotgun as soon as she opens the door and blows the robot to smithereens out of fear. And Paul is really crushed by the death of his creation, and he kind of regards it as a friend. Well, at the same time that happens, he sort of has his first kiss with Samantha, and she goes home to an abusive stepfather who unfortunately beats her on a regular basis and winds up pushing her down the stairs and killing her. And really distraught with grief, because the police technically couldn't do anything about it because it showed no signs of foul play when they investigated, but Paul still knows that it was the stepfather that did it, which will come into play later on. And he's so overcome with grief that he and Tom sneak into the morgue and take the AI chip from BB and somehow insert it into Samantha's brain, and she comes back to life. And he kind of steals her away and kind of hides her in a woodshed in his backyard. Well, over the course of time, she's kind of robotic, but the personalities start emerging, and she's flashing in between being BB and being Samantha. And basically, the robot decides to go on a revenge spree for anyone who wronged Samantha or the robot itself, because both of the personalities have meshed into one now. And unfortunately, Paul has his hands full in dealing with this, and once the killing spree starts, everything just goes completely downhill from there. And there are some pretty cool effects in this. I think the best thing is when, because you know it's going to happen, the movie is predictable, but then again, it's pretty much a straightforward horror movie. The best scene in this movie is the killing of the recluse woman, who, let's just say, is on the receiving end of a very bad blow from BB Samantha. And like she gets hit with this basketball in the head, and like her head just fucking explodes from the impact, and the body walks around for like 5 seconds before it falls to the ground. And it's just, you know, great special effects like that from the 80s, which are pretty fun. So I really have no complaints about this. This is actually well acted, straightforward story. It might lag at some points, but then again, this is what you see is what you get type of movie. I think the other cool thing about this too is the ending. Now, a lot of people may or may not like the ending, and it's just a trademark with Craven for a lot of the horror movies like this, which he does, which is going to have some kind of a downer ending for the protagonist. I'm not going to say what this is, but it's not really explained how it happens, but it's just so far out of left field, but it's still cool at the same time. And it's a really crazy ending to the movie. Overall, I do have to give this movie some high marks for being well made and well acted, and some pretty good special effects. So if you haven't seen this, pop up into it at a used video store, pick it up and check it out, and I think you'll have some fun with it.